underwear. You can look it up. It's true. For about a half hour, 12 years old, and none of them they didn't get arrested. But it goes to say when you got the FBI, I told the FBI guy, well, let me get this right. You guys, how can you guys even have a moral compass? And you say she didn't open her door fast enough, and it's 41 seconds. Are we all supposed to have little timers? Quick, finish what you did. The FBI's here before they wreck our door. 38, 39, 40. Come on in. I mean, it's disgusting. And they didn't know what to say. And I kept going after them. They said, "Well, Mike, what about your plane? You fly your plane all over the country?" And I go, "Well, really, that's none of your business. But now that you ask, I'm flying around a crooked Secretary of States and crooked attorney generals and crooked governors, you know, and trying to get rid of the electronic voting machines." You guys, I'll tell you what. I have met more this election you have here with your governor, your secretary of state, your attorney general. When I was thrown into this, basically, or I don't say thrown in, I say God gave me a platform for such a time as this, and this is all in your platform, by the way. But to go around and meet with them and the logic, you can see right through them which ones are just pure evil, which you have here in this state, from all three of them. I mean, pure evil. And how important the Secretary of State, the governor, and the Attorney General. Before this all happened, who knew what a Secretary of State? Did you really think it was that important? Yeah, it controls everything in an election, everything. And you got one of the worst here with this. And so anyway, so I tell these FBI guys, I said, I've been flying around the country in every state, going to get people, on board, whether they're Democrat or Republicans, to get rid of these electronic voting machines. And I say that because you can all sit here. Everybody can. I need you to know this. For 18 years, the Democrats warned us of these electronic voting machines. 18 years. I had a guy on my show. You can look it up on Frank's speech. His name is Clint Curtis. He wrote the first algorithms to steal elections. You can go to Frank's speech right now and watch it, the Moment of Truth Summit. And when he told me that, I said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, ES&S goes all the way back to 1998 in our country." Now remember, the machines and computers have stole 54 countries, or almost got them completely taken. Starting, with you have Venezuela,
hey, John.
Australia. They don't get to come back. They don't get a chance because the people that got elected or got selected are not going to get rid of those machines. So what we're finding now is we have this opportunity and time for God to give us grace to get rid of these, because all of these Secretary of States and governors, and even some of the attorney generals, about three classes, those are probably the ones where there's some of them that are okay, believe it or not. And they but these Secretary of States, the power that they have and what they've done, they've all showed their ugly face, because you're going, well, especially of the Republican ones, because you're going, why would you not want to look into this? You can understand that Democrats, I kind of look at it like this, as I do this experiment, the media can grab, here's a soundbite they can grab now. I compare it to Hitler in Germany when the Japanese were taking over the other part of the world. Do you think for 1 minute that Hitler, if he won, was not going to kill them too? Of course he was. Of the machines. We have to get rid of the machines. We have to get rid of the machines. But now they're on the other side of a fixed game, and they're silent on us. And then they're not only silent, but they're part of this big cover-up for the biggest crime in history. And you have that right here in your own state. And that's why, yes, I'm going to be talking about Corona. She's awesome. She's awesome. You guys, I'll be talking about, you have the three of the best candidates this country has for those three positions here. Dixon, Cuomo, and Matt DePerno. He's a good friend of mine. But I want to tell you, okay, so So with the after when they tried to silence our voice, all the miracles since then, everything since January 7th and 8th, when they brought me evidence, by the way, I want to get the word out about this too. I'm going to give you guys some calls to action that you can put in your phone too. I will tell you this, on January 9th of 2021, okay, this is when I was given evidence of the whole, you've all heard the 32 terabytes, okay? And it's a whole movie of the whole election. If you've seen what I've seen and know what I know, nobody with a conscience, I don't care what side you're on, would go, our country was taken. Okay. And I didn't let up from that day forward. I tried to get it to the president, as you all know, on January 15th, when you see the famous martial law picture. And but that was those were from attorneys. But at least when that was shown on TV, the media started attacking me. Now remember, if the media wants to silence someone, they just don't talk about them. Okay. When they don't talk about them. So after January 6th, for me, the media would never talk to me. Not the good media, bad media, it wouldn't matter. Well, then after the White House, they loved attacking me. Mike, you lost 4 more retailers today. How do you feel? Did you hear about China and Dominion and Smartmatic and ESN? Mike, you lost 4 more today. How do you feel? Did you hear about our country and Dominion? I just never let up. And when they went silent, when I came out with Absolute Proof, everybody, you all see that movie? Absolute Proof was the movie, and it's based on Dennis Montgomery. You can all look at DennisMontgomery.com. We put it up there. All his all his information. Yes, he did work for the government, for the CIA, and he's a whistleblower, and he wanted to save our country. And he has all this. You know where it's at right now? It's sitting in Nevada before a judge because it's got a government gag order on it. They don't want you all to see it. So it's sitting there right now. If that's lifted, all the lawfare goes away, all this garbage with, I'm going to sue this, the Dominion alone has sued over 200 people or sent them threatening letters for billions of dollars. People that they're afraid. They just sit back and they're afraid now because they spoke out. Citizens here in Michigan, I don't know if you know this, but citizens here in Michigan, from the election, these were poll watchers and stuff, Dominion sent them all threatening letters. And for almost 3/4 of a year, these patriots here in Michigan sat in fear. Some of them got home security systems put in. And then they finally said, we've had enough. And they sued Dominion with Alan Dershowitz leading the way. The citizens here in Michigan sued Dominion, but you don't hear about that in the news. But it's fact. And so anyway, as these things, when I put out Absolute Proof, and I'll just use that one example, on February 4th of 2021, everybody, it was a very significant date. One of the most, this is the day, and I'll tell you in a second why. Leading up to February 4th, if you all remember, I was on every station was attacking me. I was losing. Mike, you lost your Twitter. How do you feel? Mike, you lost My Pillow's Twitter. How do you feel? Well, do you remember when Newsmax, when they tore off the microphone? Does anyone remember that? I was on Newsmax, and they're saying, come on, can you tell us about cancel culture? You lost your Twitter. Well, let me tell you all something. If I can't go on the TV shows and say, why did I lose? Why did they take it away? Why did they take away all these stuff from My Pillow and try and destroy My Pillow? Because they weren't comfortable? We know that's a lie. It was, of course, they were comfortable. So if you can't go on and say why they're doing these things, you're taking away my voice. I would rather lose all my money than lose my voice, everybody. Because if we lose our voice, we lose everything anyway, and it don't matter. So here that week of February was about 10 days before the impeachment trial, and I said, you know what? I can't. None of this media would let me talk about the evidence, and I thought, at the impeachment trial, I thought it'd be like the OJ trial. We could just put all the evidence up there and go, you're right. Donald Trump won. You're right. You got to get rid of these machines. Well, I heard from a senator friend of mine, they weren't going to allow that because you all see how fast that went down. And so I felt led in prayer to make a movie, and we made the movie Absolute Proof. We did it in 5 days. Now, I told the media all week long, we're going to show you on Friday, February 5th, all the evidence. This will be over. Well, on February 4th, now everybody think of the timing of this. Smartmatic sued Fox News. When Smartmatic sued Fox News, that was the start of something called lawfare that hadn't been done in the United States since 1798 when they did it against newspapers in this country. When the media can't speak out, when they can't talk, especially about machines that we paid for, we paid for these machines and computers, and nobody can look inside them. Are you kidding me? That's like, it's insanity. So what they did, so Smartmatic sued Fox News. When they sued Fox News from that day forward, everybody, no person in the United States, including me,